tremendous amount of force you have to exert at the bottom. Because even though you have mechanical advantage, the first 4 to 6 inches is ridiculous once you actually get a nice load on it. Because you don't have the same type of leverage. Now, once I actually got it past my knees, chances are I was not going to miss it. If I got it to my knees, I was going to get it. I miss lifts way down here with sumo deadlift. Okay.
Is that because of your? I mean, you're not the taller stature, Mike. It probably sumo would probably work better for him.
Potentially, but again, you still can't generate the force that you want. The reason why sumo works is because you simply shorten the distance it requires to travel. That's it. Okay.
But the force,
right?
Much.
Do you competitively employ like a long hook grip to also shorten that distance, or
a what?
Well, some people I know, not everyone will like instead of closing their grip, will open it just to. I guess it's pretty rare.
Yeah, most of those guys are doing that. There's probably some sort of issue, contraction with the hands. I found that if it was actually slipping out of my hands, as it came out my legs, the bar was going to actually pop out. Okay. And then, of course, a lot of those guys maybe were using wraps, and that's where they're trying to go ahead and do, so they didn't have to go as far. But majority of those guys probably weren't pulling big weight. They're not pulling the 8s and the 9s, and the guy that just recently pulled 1,000 pounds. Okay.
You say my knees start to bleed. Incorrect?
Does it start to bleed?
Yeah.
Because of how far your feet were when you just demonstrated that just now, I say bring your feet in. Okay? And again, I mean, as we get wider, some of us are bigger, you know, obviously. We're going to be out here. There's just nothing we can do. We're going to start to chew our bodies up. You know?
So it's okay.
Yeah.
How about grip? You recommend mixed grip or maybe overhand while you're warming up, or what?
As much overhand or neutral as possible. Okay? One of the issues I have had was the fact that obviously my competition grip was internal rotation with my left shoulder, external with my right. I could never figure out why I had problems with my shoulder when I was bench pressing and doing all this other stuff because of all the loads I had. Even now, I'm watching me do my mobility drills, and it just does not move because all the reps are laying. Okay, so I say go ahead and try to go ahead and keep them one way or the other as long as possible, so at least you kind of
till your work sets maybe.
Yes, right.
Do you teach any differences between the
No, teach exactly the same.
What was your question?
is there any differences? Is it anything different when he teaches men or women deadlift? Because some, there's different.
Yeah, obviously, a woman's physique, the pelvis, may dictate whether or not a shifter to sumo faster than somebody else. Okay?
So you would go into super slower maybe?
No, faster. Faster if you have childbirthing hips. Because it's more comfortable for a woman to step out here than it would be for a man to get close. And it totally depends. The female would tell me whether or not she feels comfortable more with one than the other. And that's after I have obviously trained her appropriately and got her to that point. Same thing, drop your position a little bit. So you stay your spine if you can, okay, and you look down. Drive through your heels, don't forget. This looks not your quads when you lift the weight. Use your glutes, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead and stop. So the first thing I would go ahead and Andre. The first thing I would do with Andre, obviously, is did everybody see the initial pull forward? Okay? And that's either her back or her glutes right hand from her strong to go ahead and forward up. Okay? And then sometimes maybe that's because she's also done a lot of Romanian deadlifts, a lot of reverse barbell row. Okay? So she's kind of trained herself in that position. She doesn't spend as much time, but we have to take a look and see what else is going on. Well, now that you actually, I got you in the right position, but as soon as you start to go ahead and drive through your heels, you went forward. And that's because I'm going to assume that most likely your glutes, your hamstrings, your back are stronger. And most likely it has more of a glutes than anything else. Okay?
What about every set you alternate your position? Let's say if you have an individual who's like, oh, Dolby, I don't want to go overhanded, I just don't like the feel of it. But to have them instead of develop an issue, if they're here and they're alternating, every single set they rotate.
Yeah. And you can, and I try that myself, with limited success. That doesn't mean that someone else is not going to be successful with that, but I actually had limited success with it.
Like the alternating grip?
No, rotating. Like some days I go in one way, some days I go in the other way, you know? And for me, it just felt incredibly uncomfortable. Extremely rotating my left shoulder. So maybe that's also because I was hung up. That's what's driving that. So you check that out. Don't have that problem, you know, then it may be comfortable enough. Absolutely. In that sense, I do want to go ahead and maintain some sort of symmetry, you know? One last thing real quick. Any other questions on that? Okay, one last thing real quick. Can you just help me pull that off?